Is GTA a British video game? How do we define British heritage and the cultural influence of a video game? Grand Theft Auto is well known in the video game industry and beyond. Its latest entry, GTA 5, was writing entertainment history by holding several world records, being the fastest selling entertainment product in 24 hours among others, surpassing even the Avengers, on top of being one of the most controversial and hated video games at the same time. When talking about British video games, Grand Theft Auto is certainly not the first game that comes to mind, so we thought it would be interesting to take a look at a game series that is made by British people portraying their outside view of American culture and lifestyle. GTA games are the blockbuster equivalent in the gaming industry. They revolutionized how video games were perceived, well known for their impressive and immersive open worlds and well fleshed out characters. But its massive success tends to overshadow its origins. Did you know that the GTA games were mostly developed in the United Kingdom? In this video, we are trying to find out how much influence the cultural heritage has on a video game and its development. As a guideline for our discussion, we used the British Cultural Test issued by the UK government to determine if a video game is eligible for tax relief. And you know what else is a relief? Having master program courses that are fun and exciting. This project was made possible thanks to the Game Studies and Engineering Masters program with its unique and fun courses. If you are searching for an interesting master's program and want to learn more about the production, cultural and economic relevance of video games, Alpen Adria University is the place to be. The master's program in Game Studies and Engineering offers you a valuable insight into the video game world, one of the biggest and fastest growing branches in the entertainment industry. Learn more about the science of creating games and how to create your own multimedia applications. Join today! With that said, grab yourself something to eat, something to drink, kick back and make yourself comfortable, and let's discuss how British Grand Theft Auto really is.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I guess we will, homie.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about GTA and whether or not we think that it is a British game based on Britishness in its social construct that it is. So we've got
Sebastian?
Sebastian is going to talk about the British side, which is a far easier argument than what you've got to do.
I would talk about the American aspect. And I forgot my name.
Please introduce yourself.
So I'm Martin and I'm going to talk about the American aspect.
And I'm Sophie, who's here to just mediate everything and hope that none of us kill each other over this. Cool. Okay. So, little background of GTA in terms of how to start this argument, which is mainly going to be in your favour, is that GTA was made in the late 90s. Well, that's where production of all the games started, by Rockstar, who in their main studios in Rockstar North in Edinburgh, which is Britain, so it's already in your favour, and it was also made by British people. So again, everything is in your favour at the minute.
If we talk about the first GTA game, it is surely an easy score for GTA being a British game, especially since it started out in Britain and was made by British people, voiced by British actors, and yeah, overall the only not British thing would be the fictional setting of Liberty City. So this is where our friend Martin comes in.
Yeah, I want to come in here. Another thing would be the fact that if you play the game for the first time, you wouldn't even recognize that it's a British game. You would rather think it's a game from the United States, but more about the United States with typical stereotypes. But you wouldn't know that it's from Britain.
No, because you would never think that really Britain, in its, if you think about stereotypes, that it would create such a violent simulator.
Yeah.
Really, because you think about British films and stuff, and it's like So yeah, well that's basically the overview. Do you want to talk about in terms of what Britishness really is? What you think?
First. I mean, the easy way to go would be defining Britishness by stereotypes that we have as an outsider of Britain, like foggy weather, drinking tea at 4, dark humor.
Dark humor, definitely.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And you would also see this in GTA 1, to be honest.
Yeah,
there's some kind of dark humor in it. So
for all GTAs, like that's a staple of the series, I would say, the dark humor.
Dark humor, sarcasm.
Yeah, that definitely.
Satire.
Yeah, no, we're good at satire actually.
My N-word, huh?
So in terms of sort of Britishness anyway, and so Gordon Brown, who didn't do that great of a job as Prime Minister, but he brought up this whole idea of Britishness, and consequently during schools, which as I only just found out really because I did always wonder this when I was at school, we have this thing called fundamental British values, and these things are drilled into you all the way from primary school, and they mainly focus on it's kind of hard to define why it's Britishness really, because it is just basic common sense in terms of it's to be kind to one another, I don't understand really where he was going with this, because I think also him, because he was trying to create the sense of Britishness to possibly include the culturally diverse population. I don't know what he was thinking really. But it even to him, we still couldn't define Britishness. And John Major, when this whole thing was going on, he just said that this Britishness would never change, in the sense that he said that in 50 years' time, it would still be the country of long shadows on county grounds, warm beer, invincible green suburbs, dog lovers, and pool fillers. And then George Orwell, who wrote 1984, I believe.
Yes,
he did. I was like, yes, he did. Okay. And he said it was old maids bicycling to Holy Communion through the morning mist, was what defined British and Britishness. So again, I feel like Britishness is hard to define in the sense that it is a social construct and also personal opinion. So in terms of your ideas of Britishness is the stereotypes, because that's all you know. Yeah. That is the only exposure to British you get. So, in terms of GTA, does that apply in the sense that is GTA British because it is Britishness imposed onto American culture, or is the game then more American because it is showing Americanness to a stereotype from Britain?
That is the question.
That is the question.
Tune in after the advertisements.
There are over 8 million species of migratory birds that travel through San Andreas. But every day, hundreds of thousands of birds are slaughtered by a not-so-silent predator, windmills. So-called environmentalists' desperate need to destroy our state's indigenous oil industry will lead to noisy, nature-killing windmills literally in your backyard. At San Andreas Water and Power, we're working with state and local officials to make sure that windmills and solar panels don't ruin our pristine environment. Let's keep the power on. Nature, and in particular our beautiful birds, will thank you. Nothing is more dangerous for a bird than a slow-moving windmill. They, like any half-sentient creature, much prefer 100-acre industrial plants spewing out noxious chemicals. Let's all work together to preserve our environment. San Andreas Water and Power.
So if we want to talk about GTA, we have to talk about the developers and publishers of the game, which is Rockstar North.
Yep.
They played a huge part in the history of GTA. They were there from the beginning. And obviously they are British. The development studio is located in Britain.
But they are a sub-company from Rockstar Games, which is actually an American company. based in New York City.
Oh, you got me.
And New York know a lot about gang violence. I know that from anime, funnily enough.
We are legally obliged to mention anime
once
in this video.
I have to slip it in at some point. Watch Banana Fish, it's good.
So yeah, we could also talk about the two founders of Rockstar Games and also Rockstar North, which is Sam Houser and Dan Houser. Both of them are of course British, which is to their favor, to be honest. But they live in America since 1996, so it's hard to consider them both still British people, as also Sam Houser is a US citizen since 2007. So it's also hard to tell if Rockstar Games is actually a British company or it's an American company.
This is a tremendous honour for us as a mostly British-run company.
It sure has grown in size.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It definitely started as a British company. I mean, I forgot the name of the first company where they came out.
DMA design.
Yeah, it's DMA Design.
Yeah. So they started a British company with British people, but I think over the years they shifted towards America, and they also produce the games for the biggest market in games, which is America, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's always something. Always something. Always something. Yes.
The way the British government determines what makes anything British is that they do this cultural test to determine if it's British or not and whether it's worthy to be sold. So we've got the different points of this test, and so you two are going to argue if it's relevant to GTA or not.
Yep.
Okay.
So the first point is set in the UK or an EEA state.
I mean, this one's pretty easy.
Yes.
If you think about GTA, it's definitely not set in the UK. It's set in America, and it's based on real American places.
Yeah, I gotta give you that. I mean, if we're talking about GTA 1, I'm gonna bring this up again. There was a mission pack.
Oh, is it?
Which was set in London. So, if we talk about the first GTA, I'm not so sure, because you can actually roam the London streets, drive on the wrong side.
So
it's the right side.
I would give you 1 point for that.
Yeah, I think it just says 1 point. As with the GTA 1. The rest of them...
Yes, if we talk about the rest of them, I mean, Rockstar stated that they are based on American cities.
Yeah, of course. That's clear, yeah.
Well, yeah, the next point is a lead character. The lead characters British or EEA citizens or residents.
I mean, that's kind of hard in any way, because you are the character, you play the character, so it's not really that easy to define if it's a British character or not.
I think until like GTA 4, the lead characters didn't have like an exact backstory of some kind, and if we talk about like GTA 4, I think the main character was an Croatian immigrant, and GTA 5 it's like this mix of characters.
Yeah. I mean, more in the American way, but
yes, of course, too.
As I told before, it's just like you play the character, so you're basically the character.
Yes.
And you can decide on your own what kind of moves do you want to make next.
True.
So pretty hard. It would be like something in between, so 2 points or something like that, maybe.
Yeah, we can share the points here.
Okay, so then we've got a video game based on British subject matter or relates to an EEA state or underlying material.
We've talked about this. The Sam Houser says he wants to focus on American,
an
American way of life. So it's
American.
Hopefully not a British aspect in it, because otherwise
we can't carry firearms. So
yeah. So what do we say? It's probably not even 1 point.
No.
Yeah.
British, no, it's not very, is it?
It isn't, no.
Okay, so with this one, which I feel is quite a stupid way to do this. Original dialogue recorded mainly in English language or one of 6 UK indigenous languages. Nothing is recorded. I hate this one, because it's like, well, if it's recorded in English language, that means nothing. America mainly, that's the biggest argument, because I mean, it's American English, but we can understand it.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Listen, right, we're looking for a lad who can do his stuff. I've heard you're a bit tasty. No messing around, or you get a slap.
Yeah, I mean, you have to give it 4 points because it's
Yes.
English
It's in
language.
English, yes, but
Yeah, but as you told us before, I mean, it's not really. But it's 4 points in the test, so
yeah,
you get
okay.
this point.
So on to section B, which just consists of one statement for cultural contribution. Does the video game represent / reflects British creativity, British heritage, or diversity? British heritage, no, is my view on that. Really,
I mean, if you grow up in Britain with the cultural influence of America, is it still? I consider.
I suppose
what's
America.
British diversity? I mean, if that's
Yes,
what's that in a
Back
way?
to sort of
a wide variety of
golden
different.
brown.
Yeah, but that's
thing.
also true for America.
Sure,
Well, yeah.
it can be true
Yeah.
for a lot of other countries, but if we,
I mean, I get the point. You want to get a British video game, so you give points away like that, but it's pretty easy to.
Yeah.
I mean, you can easily give it 4 points. It's just
Yes.
like there's a lot of diversity. I mean, there are black characters, there are white characters, there are gay characters.
yes,
Yeah,
they
so-
got everything.
Yeah. So
And I think that was the appeal, one of the appeals of the game, that there is a representation for everyone in the game. If you want to address a large audience,
Yeah.
that's an easy way to do it.
Yeah, I have to agree, especially with the first one, with the first GTA.
Yes.
Yeah, probably that's really a British kind of diversity and reflection.
So is that going to you then? Is that your point today?
That's probably your point.
I mean, the fact that you argued for it, though.
Yeah, I mean, I have to because I think it's.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay,
I'm going to use my British manners to spank.
Okay, so section C is cultural hubs. So it says at least 50% of the conceptual development or storyboarding or programming or design takes place in the UK.
Oh shit, here we go again.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it's
if
even
we're
more
talking-
stupid, but
yeah.
But probably there will be
It
at least
works
50%.
in your case.
Yeah. I mean, there will be 50%. It's even, I think when it comes to GTA 5, there are even 50%
Yes.
produced in the
'cause it's
UK.
more-
So I can't even argue for that point.
Well, that's only 2 points for that one, so
Yeah.
that's
I
yours.
think we can address the second bullet point.
Well,
here too.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
at least
If we talk about
50% of the music recording or audio production or voice recording takes place in the UK.
Oh, that's a little bit harder because I don't know it exactly.
No,
I only know that when it comes to GTA 5, that all the composers are from America or from Belgium. I think there's only one from
Really?
Belgium. So
we're represented.
I couldn't find any British composer when it comes to GTA 5, but I have no idea where they recorded.
Well, they say that all the jobs are scattered everywhere because in that documentary, I can't remember his name now, but one of Sam's friends or whatever, he sent him to Toronto, San Diego, Edinburgh, every day. He's on a plane to one of these places to either fire someone. I don't know why they can't just do it over the phone, but or whether to check on animation processes or whatever. So it is scattered everywhere, which I suppose good and bad in terms of if you do want to talk to everyone is other sides of the world, but that's just how they work.
Yeah, it gets complicated if you work with a huge diverse team that is scattered across the globe.
Yeah, it was especially they had to do it in a way because they didn't expect GTA to probably do so well early on. So when they had deadlines to do San Andreas, Sam got every Rockstar branch to work on it because normally they'd all be doing different things in different games, but he got everyone to try and get this game out. Yeah, try and get this game out in time. So that's that.
Yeah, probably still your point.
It's one way of looking at it. Yeah, do you have any other ways of looking at it? Because I am all out.
Okay, so with section D of the cultural test, there's multiple points about just the contributors to the game and whether or not they're British or EE citizens, and it's mixtures of all of them. Was it 1/3? Is it 1/3 of...
one of 3 lead composers
yeah.
is an EA citizen or resident. So
it's probably true. I mean, it's
yeah.
it's about 50-50 of sort of American and British companies and workers and stuff. So it's
a good mix. But if we want to argue for a British video game, I would say
it's pretty easy to do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that doesn't really help us much. Just defining whether or not something's British on the amount of people who were born in a country that would work with that.
So it's easy 8 points to gain, and then you probably pass the test anyway, even if you don't have a British video at all. So I mean
summing things up, I would say GTA is a British game, even though it doesn't have like the Britishness all over it, especially if we talk about the setting of the game itself, that most people would point out first. I mean, it's the easiest way to take a look at a certain cultural artifact that and address if it is like belonging to a certain culture, like in this case Britain. But
well, the makers like to still put in subtle hints of its Britishness in this fictional American
I think if British people work on, or people of a certain culture work on on a project, they always will try to inject their like the upbringing,
because they'd still like to appeal to a British market if that's where it's coming from.
Sure.
There's no point, I suppose,
you can never
from
escape your
economical point of view to spend money making a game with British developers in Britain and have it not appeal to your home market. So,
and of course you want to represent the things that happen to you and share those things. But what do you say, Martin?
Yeah, I kind of need to agree when it comes to your first points, especially when it comes to GTA 1 to GTA 4, 5. GTA 5 is a whole different thing. I mean, even Dan Houser says that GTA is America in an article in The Guardian. So I really think in the past it was more like a British video game with an American cultural odor. But it shifts towards a more American game, especially in the future. I think that GTA 6 will be probably known as the first real American GTA game, and with kind of a British cultural odor in it.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can look at it from both ways, because it's definitely more of an American odor with the fictional world and its stereotypes of American culture. But on the other way, the developers and the producers still put in nuances of British culture in terms of landmarks and jokes that only British people would possibly understand. So, for example, in San Andreas, there is this red, complicated-looking bridge called the Forth Bridge, which is in Scotland. So that gives a nod to Edinburgh and its developers. And then in Vice City, there is just a subtle sign that says "Welcome to Dundee" and a ship, which means nothing really in the grand scheme of things, but it just adds sort of subtleness to its home creation.
Welcome to America. Baskala Stala Dejava. Bushka.
So in the end, it's not possible to argue if it's British or American. It's kind of both.
It's a fluidity of both, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. There's nuances of both cultures thrown into this one violent mess.
That we all enjoy playing.
Yes. Which I don't know how much that says about us, really.
But yeah, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed our take on Britishness in GTA. And Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us on Twitter.
Don't follow me on Twitter unless you don't like anime, because it's full of that.
Yes. And let us know what you think in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching, and goodbye.
Auf Wiedersehen.
So this is what the dream feels like. This is the victory we longed for. Hey, cousin, how about we go bowling?
We bowl like two cousins in American sitcom.